Alright, so here we are again with another round of 8 game between 50 Shades of Hades, who's playing Hades, and AttyMonsta in the red corner, also better known as Machiavelli, who's playing Oranos. The map is Mediterranean. It was generated from random maps, so I guess 50 must be happy about that, since this is a good map for Greek against Oranos. This is one of the maps that you actually really want to get as Greek if you're up against an Oranos playing random map. So 50 must be happy about that. Both of these players, they found their little trio of fish. Both of them have docked a bit to the side instead of towards the center. Yeah, because that's where they found their fish. At the moment, we were just going to have pretty much standard build orders coming out. AttyMonsta, interestingly, choosing to go for the pigs instead of the boar. I'm not sure if I like that. Well, 50... Maybe 50 could lure these boar in, but they seem quite far away. I understand the decision for 50 going for the pigs, since... I'm not sure if these boar are close enough to lure into the TC, but for Machiavelli, these boars definitely way closer to the TC. Can definitely be used to get a smoother age up. So...
Λέγε.
Talking about the matchup, Oranos against Hades on Mediterranean. Now there are Hades players that like to go for Pestilence on this map, and some that like to go for Restoration. I believe that Restoration is the more standard choice, simply because of how powerful Restoration is in a big fight with lots of triremes against other arrow ships. Like, usually Greeks really love going for Athena on this map, but Pestilence is also pretty scary. If the docks don't get split up, and Pestilence hitting both docks can really slow down the ship production and give the Greek player full reign of the water for a minute, while the Atty player, he also has to build a third dock. So it's like Pestilence basically, it knocks your opponent off fish, and it forces them to spend 100 extra wood just to get an extra dock up in order to be able to keep up with the fishing ship production. So also very powerful. Both are valid options, and we'll see what 50 Shades goes for. I believe that he's a big fan of Ares, so maybe he'll be going Pestilence on this map. He's a really big fan of Ares, I know. While for Oranos can actually, this is one of the few maps where I'd say it actually might be better for Oranos to not go through Prometheus and to maybe go for Oceanus to get the Carnivora, which is massively helpful for the sea battles. It's like, it will instantly kill one of the ships when you put it down, if you put it down in a good spot, and it's just really nasty, tanky thing. It's got 500 health, and it sort of zones out the fish. If you put it under the dock, then it sort of screws with them a bit, because if they send out new fish under the dock, then maybe the Carnivora can kill them. Yeah, so Carnivora, very nasty, got power on water, and with how intense the fighting is on Mediterranean for water, I'd say Oceanus is a really real viable choice. So we'll see if Machiavelli chooses to go for that, or if he'll stick with a more standard Prometheus. Prometheus is also useful for like protecting your land, because that Valor, if you don't have the Valor and you can't Valor Oracles, what the Greek player can do is make his 2 heroes and bring his Methuna over and just sort of harass your base, harass on your wood, harass on your gold mine especially, and if you don't have any units to defend with no Valor, then it's going to be really tough to deal with. So that is the downside to going Oceanus on this map. Also see that the boar here has been killed for 50, but it's not been lured into the TC range, and instead it died all the way over here, so that's not the good place for it to die. And 50, he's not quite got the food yet to advance, so it's a pretty late advance for 50, considering it's Mediterranean. Most of the time, Greek on Mediterranean, they can advance either 430 or 416, but looks like 50 will be advancing at 444 instead, which is just still acceptable. I mean, it's not going to be that much later than what Machiavelli is having. Machiavelli, probably, he's going to be advancing sometime between 430 to 440, which is, it depends on how smooth his build goes. You often have to have idle TC time on this kind of map as Atlantean, though in some cases you can get a really clean 430, which is good. And we see Pestilence, Ares going up through it for 50 Shades. So 50 really wants to put on that early aggression, get control of the fish, force out that 3rd dock for Machiavelli in order to win get that early advantage on water instead of going for the big one fight win with Athena. Another thing about Athena on this map is that the range of restoration is really, really big. So if you go for some kind of land harass, you can actually use restoration on both the biremes and your land units and just get loads and loads of value out of the restoration. It's another thing you can do here. You see a bit of a slightly funny build order from 50, I'd say. I mean, he's got 7 villagers on the... He's got 7 villagers on the gold, and he's actually not gotten hand axe. I believe he's a bit tight on food right now. But yeah, this is quite a high number of villagers on gold. Usually you expect only 5 villagers aging up. But in 50's case, since he aged up quite late, like maybe 6, and Pestilence comes down, these docks are split quite far apart, so it only gets 1 dock. Only 1 dock on the bottom. But Machiavelli responds anyway by getting out his 3rd dock, as you probably should do against Pestilence. And even though it only gets 1 dock, the fact that you only have 1 bireme pumping out 1 dock pumping out biremes for now means that you're still going to get bullied on water, though maybe not because 50's advance is a little bit late. So right now, let's have a look at 50. 50 has gotten hand axe, which is good. You should almost always be getting hand axe on this map unless you really need the food to make your hero in order to harass land. Just because of how many ships you're going to be making, you're going to need loads and loads of wood, so you want to get hand axe straight away while you're advancing as soon as you can, if you can afford it. Unless you're going for the really aggressive strategies with the land heroes. And now we see the effects of Pestilence kicking in. 50 Shades, 6 triremes to AttyMonsta's 6 biremes. Usually you should have Anantian having maybe a bit more, because I mean these biremes are cheaper than the triremes and also significantly worse. So the Pestilence, it does give 50 an edge, but he's actually not sorry. He's actually not able to force the AttyMonsta off of fish. So that's not going to give AttyMonsta too many problems. But he did manage to force the 3rd dock out, which is quite expensive, especially for Atlantean, who has to build it with their citizens, and it costs 125 wood. You see a bit of a fight breaking out now. I believe this fight is going in favor of 50. He has more triremes over here. Well, it's about the same number, but triremes are stronger. I mean, just look at the stat difference. It doesn't show any floating stats, but yeah. 6 pierce damage to 5 pierce damage, and the triremes have more health, and they have more range. So triremes, way better units than biremes. 50 is going to be winning this fight. 50 has gotten his Ajax out. I'm not sure where his Cyclops is. Let's have a look at the units lost. Yeah, the Cyclops is still alive for 50 Shades somewhere. I'm not sure where. No, it's around here in the back. I guess it's a good thing that it hasn't actually found the docks, because these oracles, they're in position to help defend it. Now looking at the water, we can see that 50 has been taking good trades. He's gotten a nice early advantage with the Pestilence. He's gotten these really good trades with his greater trireme numbers. Machiavelli, he really shouldn't be fighting this. You should be trying to turtle under the safety of his own docks, because right now the trades aren't going in favor of him. We see the Cyclops now roaming around Machiavelli's base. It has been spotted by the sentry tower, and it's not really able to do that much. Looks like it did bash away at this citizen over here, so the citizen is going to have to retreat away from the wood line. It forces a little bit of idle time, but right now the Cyclops is going to get picked off without really achieving all that much, so that's going to be a little bit of a disappointment for 50 Shades, I'm sure. The Cyclops not really getting as much value as it could have, but in the meantime the fight on water is happening, and 50 Shades, definitely not a disappointment for him. He is winning the fight. He's got way more triremes. Why is AttyMonsta fighting this? I'm not sure. He's also got the good micro here, pulling the ships back and pulling all of these Atlantean biremes in, just getting so many pickoffs. You can look at the kill death now. The units lost for Machiavelli way more than 50 Shades. So 50 Shades just having an advantage now from having good water fights. Machiavelli's still trying to press in, but this is not the fight you want to take. This is definitely not a fight you want to take. So now Machiavelli, this fight on water, it's not going well for him. He has to make a choice now. Does he still want to continue fighting water, or does he want to switch his efforts to do something on land? Maybe he wants to go for a bit of a gold starve. The gold mines here are they're a bit further away from the base. But keep in mind that this is Mediterranean, so there are two sides of the map, and in maps where there are two sides like this, it's pretty difficult to actually do a gold starve, because your opponent can just switch his villagers to the other side of the map if you start pressuring one side. Another option, if Machiavelli doesn't want to fight water, is he could just grab town centers, but then, I mean, if you're not going to eventually make a play against Greeks, you are going to be worse off in the late game. But the fight here is continuing to pump up biremes for AttyMonsta. It's not working out well for him. The losses keep piling up, and the difference between the kill-death keeps getting worse and worse. 50 just has way more triremes over here. Big advantage on water. And I don't know how long AttyMonsta can keep it up. So AttyMonsta, he's finally decided that he's had enough. He's done with fighting water, and so he stopped making ships. So he's cut his losses. While 50, he doesn't know that AttyMonsta has decided to stop the ship production, so he's still making triremes. So he's going to have a bit more than he actually needs. But yeah, you just want to be safe here, because if he is actually still making biremes, then it's really important to have those trireme numbers, since every single military unit in the fight does give you a big advantage. And we see here AttyMonsta, he's trying to go for the second TC, but it gets caught out by the Ajax. This looks like it's going to be really close. Is the Ajax going to be able to pick off the citizen? This looks really close. Oh no! Oh, and the citizen survives with 1 health. So that was a really close call. It was really close. I thought the citizen was going down for sure, but the Promethean and the Oracle heroes coming just in the nick of time to rescue the citizen, and it barely manages to survive with 1 health. If 50 still has his Catastropos, then it could come in here and just whack the citizen to finish it off, but it's not. If you had the Cyclops around as well, the Cyclops and the Ajax combined should have been enough to stop this town center. So yeah, that just goes to show. That's like losing the Cyclops here for no reason. Definitely not something you want to happen. 50, on the meantime, seems to have recognized that Machiavelli is not really committing on water anymore, so he has stopped his ship production. But Machiavelli, he's actually starting up his bireme production again, so he doesn't want to give up water so soon. But this fleet of ships, 9 ships, it's not even going to be close to enough to contest with what 50 has, and these guys, they're just going to fall. So this is pretty much a waste of resources here for AttyMonsta. The water is lost for Machiavelli. Or AttyMonsta. I keep switching between the two names. I'm not sure what I should be using. Yeah, but the water is lost now. 50 is responding to the second TC with his own TC. The Oracles are coming in here, and they're going to see the TC coming up, but it's going to be a little bit too late. I doubt they're even going to be able to kill 1 villager over here before they garrison into the TC. And yeah, they are going to be able to slow down the TC a little bit. And with a shockwave, ooh, that shockwave was nice! It grabbed all the villagers. Really nice shockwave. The shockwave was nice, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Maybe it can pick off a villager or 2. But these 2 oracles, they're not focusing on the same villager. They're on different villagers. Oh no. All 3 oracles, in fact, are on different villagers. And 2 villagers are picked off. 50 Shades isn't paying attention, and the 3rd villager goes down. Will this villager make it back? Yep. So it's going to be 3 villagers down. That was definitely a good shockwave. Managing to get all those villagers. Perfectly placed shockwave. I did not see shockwave getting all the villagers. Like maybe 5 or 6 of them, but not all of these villagers over here. There were so many. He's also seen Machiavelli now. He's building his 3rd town center, so he wants to go for a bit of a boom, and he's going to be trying to take this game into late game and see what he can do. The 2 sides of the map here for Oranos is actually really nice for Oranos, because he can go for the split pushes on this map with sky passages, and also be able to use Sartarian Gate to split the tension of the Greek player. While the Greek player, he really doesn't want to use Underworld just to respond to this kind of split push by the Atlanteans. Being able to switch between 2 sides and constantly pressure, it's a really strong thing about Oranos on this map. But it's the early game that is tough for him. Oranos just can't compete with Greek on water in the early game. The Greek early game on Mediterranean, it's just too strong for Atlantean. AttyMonsta, he's lost the sea completely, so he doesn't have any more fishing eco, but he is able to make use of all this hunt on land. Both of these TCs, quite fortunately, have some deer, quite a lot of deer actually close to them, and there's also berries that he can move to, so he won't have to be making farms anytime soon. He's also still got the 3 boar that he saved up in the arcade cage. Maybe it's even worth to get hunting dogs when you have these 3 boar over here and all this deer. I would have gone hunting dogs for this. Let's see his eco ups. It's actually still got no eco ups. He's finally got the eco guild out. A little bit late. Like, it's a little bit late for the eco guild. But I mean, when you're fighting water like that and pestilence messes with you and stops your third dock up, you can't really blame AttyMonsta for being late with the eco guild. So right now he is focusing on land. He's getting out his 2 military buildings on top of this gold mine, and is going to look to see if he can do anything on this side of the map. He's also got the mini Promethean over here. He sees what's going on. 50 Shades is building up this side. Yeah, 50 Shades really wants to secure these 2 gold mines. I mean, if 50 Shades can secure his map without any problems and just like survive any attempts made by Machiavelli to do any kind of split pushing, he should definitely have a really huge advantage. He does have the fishing eco and water, though I feel like he's not making use of it as much as he can. He's not saturating up all the fishing spots he can. He's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's only got 9 fishing ships when there's like fish trios over here that you can use, fish trios over here, and yeah, he's not actually doing that. He's not actually floating that much food. He actually has way too much wood, not food. It's food that he's struggling with. So you should really be getting out more of these fishing ships to make sure that him winning water is capitalized on appropriately. So we see the Murmillos start coming in on this side of the map. They are running in pretty close to the water, and the Trireme is getting off free hits on these Murmillos. This Murmillo actually being aggroed by the Trireme is going to fall, it seems. So yeah, so this Murmillo isn't going to survive. But in the meantime, 50 Shades is not able to get gold from this side of the map, and he is mining on the other side. This CC, it's not like these villagers are idle either. They're on hunts, which is the resource that 50 Shades needs the most right now. Food and gold, not wood. What I really want to see right now for AttyMonsta is maybe to start building more aggressively with his citizens. I feel like that's maybe what he should, or maybe he will be doing soon. Just moving these citizens up the map, spamming buildings closer, because he has to start putting on pressure at some point and get some good push going before late game kicks in for Greeks, where he's not going to have a chance to. He's not going to be able to beat Hades in the late game. You see 50 Shades now, he's moving forward. He's chosen to go for hoplites and toxotes, which is sort of the strongest army composition pop-wise. Epicons, they're pretty good, but they're 3 pop units, so they're actually not that good when it comes to being pop efficient. The fight breaks out right now, and it seems that this fight, 50 Shades picks off a Carabalist and I believe a Murmillo or a Terma or something, but losing all these units, definitely not worth it. So that was a small win for Machiavelli. He's also going to lose some of these units when retreating. These Toxotes, not good at retreating. They're so slow and they die so fast to these Terma. AttyMonsta also has the Satyr here, really strong units. They were buffed in the new 2.7 patch on EE to have 20 Pierce attack. 20, that's a lot. Like a Petsuchos doesn't even do as much DPS as these Satyrs. Like the Petsuchos does have longer range and is a cheaper myth unit, but yeah, these Satyrs, they're buffed and they're really strong right now. And the Satyr here is going to be demolishing these units. This fight here is definitely going to be going in favor of AttyMonsta, so I hope 50 Shades realizes it and chooses not to fight this and redirect his unit production to somewhere else. All he has to do is really just make a wall to make sure that the units don't come into this gold mine, and he wouldn't need to fight this at all. Yeah, just look at these Toxitates, they're dying so fast. These Terma, they do 4 times damage to Toxitates as they do to normal units. They kill them so fast. In the meantime, we see chaos happening on the other side. 50 Shades choosing to put pressure on the other side, and these units are able to catch out a Citizen. The Citizen going a bit too close to the water and getting shot at by the Triremes. So 50 is getting some counterplay on the other side, but right now over here, this side is not going well for 50. And we see AttyMonsta, he's almost caught up in the score to 50 from having these good trades over here. Looking at the losses, it's still the kill death is still much better for 50 Shades, but keep in mind that a lot of that is from these triremes over here that 50 is going to delete anyway at some point for the population. Now this push in here is going to be very fruitful, it seems. How many villagers are going to get picked off? I'm not sure. Quite a few, perhaps. I also see heavy archers coming in for AttyMonsta, so these Terma right now. They've also gotten some army upgrades, so they're really strong. Really strong units. And even more units are coming on now. We see Arcus as well. Arcus. 20 range archers, really good. Really good. They beat Toxitates without any problems, I believe. See, Underworld Passage now happen. 50 struggling with the pressure a little bit. He's chosen to use Underworld Passage to help alleviate the pressure, get some units going through here. Really, I'm not sure if that was necessary. Now that Underworld Passage is used, it won't be there to help deal with Tartarian Gate. Keep in mind that you can use Tartarian Gate on top of the Underworld Passage to destroy it instantly. So this Underworld Passage, like, it could mean that 50 could have run into problems dealing with a split push on both sides later on in the game. It could mean that. So now 50 is able to cope with this pressure and be fine just mining both of these gold mines. But we see AttyMonsta, he's almost through Mythic. He's almost through Hecate now. He's just about to be Mythic anytime soon. And he is through Mythic. So expect this Underworld Passage to fall. Maybe a Tartarian Gate on this other Underworld Passage on the left-hand side would be really good, but instead he goes for the Tartarian Gate on the right-hand side, and as we can see, it's used on the Underworld and it kills it instantly. I would have liked to see it on the other side personally, because splitting where your army is and where you put your Tartarian Gate, that's what you really want to be doing as an Antian. He didn't have the vision prepared on the left-hand side to use on the left-hand side of the map, the left Underworld Passage. So right now, actually, this Tartarian Gate is actually going to it's actually still going to get a lot of value. The Cyclops are coming in here, but these Terma are picking off the Cyclops. I was worried for a moment that these Tartarian spawns would be attacking Machiavelli's army instead of 50 Shades' army. Right now it's Machiavelli that needs every advantage he can get to win this game, and this Tartarian Gate is one of them. It's doing pretty good. It's doing pretty good, so I take it back. The Tartarian Gate didn't need to be casted on this side. It's getting quite decent value from here as well. And so many villagers falling here. I mean, just look at that. 31 villagers lost for 50 Shades. A lot of them definitely are kills from this Tartarian spawn over here. If you look at the difference, the units killed is actually about 15. So the Tartarian spawns, it took out about 15 villagers over here for 50 Shades, and it's still up. These Tartarian spawns are doing so much damage over here. We see Machiavelli actually now finally taking the score lead. Will he be able to come back? He's definitely got an opportunity now to look at the upgrade differences. He's got Champion Terma with some army upgrades, while 50 Shades, his units are nothing. They're basically naked. Yeah, naked hoplites, naked Toxitates with absolutely no upgrades at all. So AttyMonsta should have a timing right now where he can be winning any fight, every single fight. Maybe he can be doing some push in. 50 is now Mythic though. He's gone through Artemis, so he's going to have Earthquake. Looks like this Chiron is coming down here to look for the Earthquake on this town center. And it's going to be happening. It's going to deny the fortified town centers. If it comes down soon enough. Is 50 going to use it? And it comes down now. The fortified town centers, it's up through 90%, but that's going to be denied. So AttyMonsta is going to have to wait all over again to research it. But the good thing here for AttyMonsta is that there's not going to be any army follow-up to this town center, so he's going to be able to rebuild it without any problems. In the meantime, that is going to be a bit of a hiccup because all these villagers are being pulled off resources in order to just rebuild this TC. And it's not like AttyMonsta has too many resources. These citizens being pulled off to build the TC really hurts in the income. AttyMonsta, he's also got maxed out favor. I really want to see some more myth units come down. Maybe more satyrs. Yeah, more satyrs would be really helpful. Just going for push down this location. But 50, he's fortified it quite a lot. He's got a fortress over here. He's got the watchtowers, and AttyMonsta, he's just not got any aggressive building placement. So he's not going to be able to actually push into these locations. The Tauren Gate has finally been taken down. 50 choosing to use some Cyclops to do it. I'm guessing he has enough. He has some pretty good food eco from winning the Walter. That's why he's able to afford the Cyclops. Right now, he's switching up to Manticores. He's got 7 on favor, which I think is it's a perfect number to have in this situation for Greek in the late game against Atlantean. And now we see the Atlantean army moving down to 50 Shades left-hand side, but they're going to find absolutely nothing over here. Just these 2 towers and the fortress. The gold mine is already gone. So this army, it's got nothing to push into. All the action right now should be focused on the other side of the map, because that is where the gold mines are, and that is where the market is. If he can push down to these gold mines and take down the TC, that would sort of be AttyMonsta's way to win. The alternative is to go for a Titan Gate, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's going to be the best option, because 50, he should be able to respond with his own Titan if a Titan Gate does come down. See the army of 50 Shades now moving up the map. I'm not sure if this aggression is really warranted. I mean, what 50 Shades should be looking to do right now isn't to be aggressive, but rather to just lay back and turtle up, make sure he gets all his upgrades before he really tries to do anything. The army of Machiavelli is retreating around to deal with this, but it's being slowed down. I mean, just look at these Arcus. They've only got 3.75 speed at base, though they're a bit faster because they are Oranos units, and these destroyers even slower, 3.6 speed. So this army is moving back to respond to this push pretty slowly. Chaos comes down. It gets the Cyclops and a few of these Toxotes. Destroyer, Hero coming in to deal with this Manticore. This push, it's really not going to do very much. And these units, again, they're really missing any upgrades. 50 Shades, he's still got almost no upgrades on, well, not almost, he's got exactly no upgrades on these units. So they're just going to be taken down. And all these units are just going to be lost. 50 really shouldn't be trying to be pushing here. He should be the one playing defensive. He should be the one making walls, just building defensively and making sure that a push doesn't happen, because after all, he is the one that is behind in tech right now. He's really behind in the upgrades. And yeah, this fortress, I believe it's not going to be staying up for very long. These military buildings, there's enough destroyers here to take them out. And there are so many archers over here. They're just insta-killing all these units. And 50 has finally gotten his first upgrade. Finally, 23 minutes in, he's finally gotten medium upgrades for his Toxotes, for his hoplites. So now finally his units are not going to be naked anymore. They're going to be a little bit better, but they're still going to obviously be way worse than what Machiavelli has with the champion units with all of the copper armory line upgrades. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, we see a small raiding party going on. It spots these citizens hatching the gold mine, but I guess 50 wasn't paying attention because he's not gone for that. There is a sky passage here. It's a bit too far back though. It's not a reliable escape route for these citizens. And one thing I would really like to see is some backwards sky passage over here. Like, if you look at the map for 50, you've got Fog of War over here, so maybe a citizen, well, actually, now it's a bit too late with the fortress coming up, but maybe a citizen could have snuck into the back sometime over here earlier on and built a sky passage right behind this forest and go for some sneaky pushes right through this corner into the TC. That would have been really good. You see the army of Machiavelli slowly moving in onto 50's side of the map, but if Machiavelli doesn't follow it up with more forward building production, this push is just going to taper out. It's not going to get any better if the citizens don't move forward and build any buildings. 50's harassed over here, being responded to nicely by Machiavelli. He's not going to lose any citizens except maybe one. But all these units are going to pick off. Losing a citizen this late into the game, it's not really a big deal. Look at right now, AttyMonsta has actually gone through the Mythic Age, and he is ready to place his Titan Gate. He's ready to place the Titan Gate, but where's he going to put it? Maybe over here would be a good spot. He's got loads of citizens over here. Really needs to put it down ASAP because he is on the timer. If you're playing Atlantean against Greek, you are on a timer. You don't win the long-term fight. You don't win the deathmatch battle against Greek on 3-3 town center. You have to do something, and the Titan Gate has to come down soon. He's got the Titan Gate. Come on, just use it. Use the Titan Gate. In turn, 50 might be responding with researching his own Titan. He's actually got 16 villagers on favor over here. That's a huge amount. It's very inefficient, but I guess he really wants to go for that Titan ASAP himself in response to the Titan Gate. But I'm not sure if that will be in time. If Machiavelli starts the Titan Gate right now, then any attempts to make a Titan Gate by 50 will be way too slow. Titan Gate now finally coming down. It's going down over here, actually. A bit surprising. I'd have thought that this would be a better spot, having so many citizens over here. But there are a few citizens over here as well. And this Titan over here, I guess it might be going down to the left side of the map to help push on this town center. Or it could be trying to help out on the right side. I'm not sure. With this Titan Gate, yeah. This Titan Gate, I feel like the position is a bit odd, but we'll see. 50 right now, trying to research his own secrets of the Titans. He's finally started researching it now. He's got to cancel this villager. It's really important now to get the Titan out ASAP. Gotta be paying attention. Cancel this villager and get the Titan out. Because every second is going to count. Because this Titan is going to come up. This Titan, the secrets of the Titan, it takes how many? I believe it's 90 right now. No, 75 seconds to research on Extended Edition. And that's a really long time. Meanwhile, but in 75 seconds, this Titan Gate should be almost up. Machiavelli's only got 12 citizens building it, so he could have a few more building it. Because Eco is not quite able to support that many. But once this Titan comes up, it's gonna be tough for 50 to be able to block it. I mean to be able to get his own Titan up in time. He's going to have to do a really excellent job ghost building and path blocking the Titan in order to make sure he gets his own Titan up in time. We see the huge number of troops for Machiavelli over here, but these guys, they don't seem to be making any progress pushing in. The Titan is halfway finished. It is halfway finished, and 50 Shades Titan Gate is a halfway finished researched. It's above halfway. It's about 70%. I'm worried right now. I'm worried right now for 50 Shades. Is he going to be able to respond to his own Titan? Some Arcus also managed to sneak in the back over here. If that was a Citizen and a Sky Passage, that would be really good. Just being able to do the sneaky side push on these buildings. There also seems to be a transport ship over here containing 3 Heliopolis, so 50 has a bit of a sneak plan. It looks like it's not going to come into fruition. You see Heliopolis? Maybe we're meant to stop the Titan Gate, but it's going to be way too late now. A 4th Heliopolis is coming. The Titan Gate, it's too slow, but maybe it could go on to some other location and try to pressure, and try to do some sneaky raids along the shoreline of the Heliopolis. The Titan Gate now finally being researched for 50 Shades. It is put down now on the opposite corner of the map to AttyMonsta's Titan Gate. So the walking distance for Machiavelli's Titan and 50 Shades Titan, they're going to be the absolute maximum. AttyMonsta is trying to come in here to see if he can cheese off this Titan Gate with these 5 destroyers, but I doubt it's going to be enough. There's loads of villagers here. We actually see 33 villagers here for 50 Shades. They're going to be all crowded around this town center. Also want to see more building spam coming up to help defend this Titan Gate. The big question is now, is this Titan going to be able to stop this Titan? That's the big question. If it's not, then I just don't see much hope for Machiavelli winning the game. He's getting the Titan on the move straight away. He's choosing to move down the bottom side of the map as opposed to the top side. And 50 Shades is going to be trying to prepare for it soon, I guess. He needs to really start building those buildings. He's also got the Heliopolis over here, taking out the sky passages. Citizens are moving on to the Heliopolis, and they are going to be able to remove the Heliopolis without any issues, I believe. These Heliopoli not going to be able to do that much damage, but this Titan, it will. It will. But I'm not sure if this is the right way of the map to be going around, because, I mean, this side of the map is all 50's base. 50's, it's gonna have to chew through a lot of things to get through to get to 50's Titan. I feel like this is the wrong side of the map to be sending the Titan down on. Like, yeah, it would be a lot harder for Machiavelli to, I mean, for 50 to be able to defend the Titan if Machiavelli was sending it on the top side of the map. Right now, it's just attacking away at these towers. That's absolutely not necessary. The Titan has to be walking. It has to be moving ASAP to this Titan gate, because if this Titan goes up, there's just no way that Machiavelli's gonna win. No, instead it's moving through here. What is the Titan doing? What is the Titan doing? It's moving down through here, and there are so many buildings here. These buildings, they are haze buildings. They are upgraded with masons as well. They are taking forever for the Titan to destroy. They're taking 3 hits, and these really slow animations. The Titan, it's not making any progress. These buildings, oh no. This Titan is doing absolutely nothing worthwhile right now. And meanwhile, the Titan gate on the left-hand side, that's going to go up, and that's going to be a big problem. Yeah. Yikes. Titan Gate now almost finished for 50 Shades. It's up through 90%. And 50 now in the late game, he's finally caught up in upgrades. In fact, he might even have a few more. Machiavelli has a little bit better armory upgrades, having the bronze line. But 50, not too far behind now. He's got the champion and the copper line. And he's also got one of these upgrades. Enyo's Bow of Horror. One of these got the Ares upgrade for his Toxicities. So these Toxicities are going to be really strong, and they're just going to keep getting stronger. They've got 10 attack. The Titan now coming out for 50 Shades is going to move down here to deal with Machiavelli's Titan. Machiavelli's Titan is a little bit better because it has the Mythic Rejuvenation technology, which allows the Titan to be regenerating at 2 health per second. And that 2 health per second, it might not seem like much, but you look at the Titan stat, it's got 90% hack armor and 95% pierce armor. So that 2 HP per second is more like 20 true health per second in terms of hack damage, or 40 in terms of pierce damage. So that's really quite a bit. The Titan looks like it's going to be taking out this town center. It's doing good progress here, but these heroes are taking care of it, and 50 Shades Titan is going to be coming down soon to deal with it. So this TC, while it's going to go down, it's going to be able to be rebuilt without any issues. Meanwhile, the push is happening on the top side of the map. There's some back and forth. AttyMonsta not able to get much progress done. He has finished mining all the gold here, and it looks like his trade route not doing so hot. Not doing so hot. So AttyMonsta is actually going to be running into some trouble with the gold. He's actually got no gold right now. He's only got 1 gold mine left over here, but he's only got 2 citizens on it. These 7 citizens on wood, they really need to be coming over to this gold mine. And the trade for Machiavelli, yeah, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. He's not going to be able to keep up the pressure on this side of the map. And he's going to be falling behind to the Greeks late game. You see the Titan battling back and forth now. Well, it looks like 50's Titan is going to be coming out ahead. Machiavelli really doesn't want to trade this Titan. He should be trying to keep it alive to make the most out of Mythic Rejuvenation. It looks like the trade of Titans isn't going to happen. And AttyMonsta's Titan falls now, with 50's Titan still having 1,000 health remaining. A lot of it is going to be eaten up by these few heroes over here, but that's it. That's it. The Titan is down for Machiavelli, and it's difficult to see what he's going to be doing next. It's difficult to see a game plan. How is he going to be able to push in over here? These are haze buildings. They're super tanky, super tanky, and they're going to be repairing very quickly. and believe that these villagers, they've also got the better gather rates than the Atlantean citizens. Well, at least pop-wise, these Atlantean citizens, they take 3 population, but they only gather about 2.5 times as fast as other villagers, which is why Atlantean really falls off in the late game. Also, having gone through Hyperion, you won't have the help of the 5 Dryads as well. So it's going to be a really, really tough late game for AttyMonsta. He is ahead in score, but that might only be temporary. He doesn't really have any sort of solid advantages to help win this game. We see finally a forward palace going up for Machiavelli. This should have happened way sooner. He's done a load of upgrades on these units, but I feel like he just hasn't accomplished that much. The Titan is now coming in to see what it can do on Machiavelli's left side of the base, the bottom side, but that's only got 600 health left. The 2 destroyers are being heroized to deal with this. Can this Titan do some damage on this gold mine though? It's only got 1,000, about 1,000 gold left. See the push happening on the other side of the map. Forward towers being spammed for 50. But these towers, they aren't going to last very long against these destroyers. 50 is still not doing so hot on the infantry upgrades. He's only got mediums, as opposed to the champion infantry that AttyMonsta has. But he really needs some Hippaspis to be able to cope with these destroyers. Toxotes just do not cut it against a unit that has this much pierce armor. 75% pierce armor. I see 50 now starting a wonder. How is Machiavelli going to cope with that? It's going to be exceptionally difficult for Machiavelli to be able to push into a Hades with extra strong buildings in the late game. The Titan is still up. It's got 500 health left. It's taking down the gold mine, so this last 800 gold on the gold mine is not going to be able to be mined for Machiavelli. And Machiavelli, he's only got 500 gold in the bank, and he has to be constantly flooding out units. These caravans, though, how many gold do they have? These caravans have got 85 gold a piece. Well, 50's caravans. 50's caravans are they've got 63 gold, so definitely a better trade route for AttyMonsta. 50 should have really built his caravan on this side of the map. That would have been a much longer distance. But that, like, AttyMonsta's under a timer, even more so now that this wonder is coming up. It's never been more true. We see a bit of a raid coming out here. The transport ship going through for 50, dropping off two of these Toxotes to get a raid on these citizens. AttyMonsta has to be making a play soon. He has to do something to try and get this try and stop this wonder. And the fastest way to get to this wonder is actually through the water on 50's base. Make a few transport ships. With the upgrade, each transport ship can transport 20 units, which is quite a lot. That is going to be the fastest way. And 50 realizes that he's now defending up the shoreline before Machiavelli has even gotten onto the idea yet. Maybe some walls as well on the shoreline to stop the transport ships dropping off any units would be good. So right now, no progress has been made on the push on this wonder. Some units are still continually being pushed in onto this side, but it's not going well enough. We actually see right now the kill death. The units lost is much better for Machiavelli than 50 Shades, but his economy is just so weak. The Atlantean late game, it's just not good. It's not cutting it. No wonder now. It's almost complete, and 0 progress has been made. He really needs to just get like 20 fire siphons in the transport ship and just walk them all the way down to the shore over here. But it is quite defended. 50 even has one Pentec counter standing on guard nearby, just in case any mischief happens with transport ships. The wonder now is almost complete, so the countdown is going to be starting soon. And the wonder is complete. So now begins a 10-minute countdown to this very, very long game. It's 35 minutes in, and the wonder has finally been made. Machiavelli has 10 minutes to deal with this wonder, but that looks like it's going to be a very, very difficult task with how things are looking right now. See, fire siphons finally coming through. About time. But then the unit flood of 50 is just the Heliopolis, the Toxotes, and just being able to build out buildings so quickly with these Greek villagers. Greek villagers really good at just spamming out buildings really, really fast. It's going to be a very, very tough job. Very, very hard to push in on here. AttyMonsta, on the other hand, he's really struggling with the gold, it seems. And he's still not making satyrs. I don't know about that. I feel like satyrs would be incredibly valuable. You see the constant pushing on in here. The destroyers are part of the reason why AttyMonsta's kill death is so good. He's just got a really good army composition, with the destroyers being the front line, soaking up so much damage from these Toxotes. Just look at how little all these Toxotes, how little damage all these Toxotes are doing to the destroyer. Meanwhile, the backline of AttyMonsta just doing so much damage to these Toxotes. Just look at one javelin. Yeah, these units are being melted for 50 shades, but that doesn't matter. If these buildings stay up, and these are very, very tanky buildings, nothing is going to happen, and this wonder is going to stay safe for the next 10 minutes and give 50 the win. The fire siphons now are finally starting to make a bit of progress onto this fortresses, but this fortress is so tanky. It's got the Architect's upgrade and extra health from being Hades. You can just rebuild it without any issues. You also see the Pentagon Conqueror for 50. He's finally removing the last stock of AttyMonsta. AttyMonsta not looking to do any shenanigans in water, it seems. He believes that he can, or rather he's just trying to see if he can push through on the right-hand side of the map instead of trying to use transport ships to try and have a go at the wonder. 50 Shades now, securing the left side of the map. A good idea. I'm surprised that neither player has really acted on trying to do anything on the left side of the map. All of the action just seems to be happening on the right-hand side with a back-and-forth push over here between 50 Shades and AttyMonsta. AttyMonsta now trying to do a bit of forward build with some of these citizens, but they're going to fall very, very quickly. Very, very fragile units. But every citizen that falls is 3 more pop for AttyMonsta to play within military. And he really needs all the population he can to try and make something happen. Except he just doesn't have the resources as well to back this push up without all the citizens. In fact, all the units here, they're being produced from really bad spots. I mean, the destroyers are coming out over here, the Arcus coming out from this building, having to walk all the way across the map onto this battlefield. Definitely not what you want. You definitely want to be using the buildings close to the fight to actually pump out your units. Like these 2 buildings over here, pumping out the fire siphons. Seven minutes remains on the wonder. 7 minutes. And in the 3 minutes that the wonder has been up, almost no progress has been made over here. This fortress, it's almost been taken down, but yeah, 3 minutes to just take down a fortress that cost 300 wood, 300 gold, and 10 favor for if he just slam up. He could just slam up 10 fortresses right now if he wanted to. Instead, he's choosing to spam towers. And the army now trying to move in, but I mean, these are just archers. We're now focusing the Heliopolis, which has 96% pierce armor, an excellent damage soaker, even better than these destroyers that are just soaking up the arrow fire. Now the left side of the map is pretty much secured by 50, with all these archery ranges coming up. A push is never going to happen on this side of the map. It's just never going to happen. And the only chance is either through water or to this wonder. But water, that's not happening with no docks up. And the left-hand side, it seems to be really slow. Push is not happening. It's happening on the guard towers, but I mean, 50's villagers are coming in to help take out these fire siphons. The push here, it's just not working out. Hades' buildings are way too tanky. These villagers really good at just spamming buildings everywhere. It's really hard to do a push. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure what Machiavelli can do now to deal with this wonder. I feel like he's out of options. He's just running out of options. He's just desperately trying to push. I just don't see it happening. These guard towers are just being chucked up so fast. There are so many. An archery range is coming up as well. In the time that it took Machiavelli to destroy 2 guard towers, 7 more have appeared. Absolutely huge. You actually see the relics are still on the map. Guy's Book of Knowledge might actually have been useful this game to help deal with the Titan head of Orpheus. Not that relevant on Mediterranean. And AttyMonsta finally taps out. He knows that he's not going to be able to get to this wonder in time. Once again. So, wow. I did not expect that game to go on for 40 minutes. I thought 50 Shades had this game very, very easily and cleanly after the early domination on the water. But AttyMonsta, having just really solid macro on point, almost being able to push back, at some points even looking like he was ahead of 50 Shades, and getting that Titan out earlier. That looked like a point where Machiavelli really could have made a comeback and got a win on this map. But that, unfortunately, the Titan, I felt like it didn't get any good value. Went to the wrong place. Should have gone onto this side of the map so that it wouldn't have to trudge through 50's whole base. So you could try to get to 50's Titan on time, maybe. Look at all resources total. Yeah, we see in the mid game, AttyMonsta actually has overtaken 50 Shades, despite 50 winning water, because 50 he didn't capitalize on winning water enough, I believe. I mean, he's not made enough fishing ships, and he's actually gone straight to farms, which I don't really like. Not using the fish. The military here, kill death. Definitely in favor of AttyMonsta, just being able to get the techs out much sooner. And see 50, most of his army, Toxotes, they weren't doing very hot against the destroyers at all. The destroyers were just soaking so much damage, which is also a big reason why the kill death of AttyMonsta is so much better than 50. He had a better army composition as well, but it just wasn't enough to push in. Yeah, what a game. So right now 50 is up 1-0, and it's up to Machiavelli to win the next 2 games if he wants to move on to the next round.